Woo! The power has been with you all along. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Trey Michael.
And this is Starla Michael.
And today we want to talk about, well, what is it that we want to talk about, Starla?
The fifth dimension.
The 5D, baby. Hey, listen, so many people right now are talking about this fifth dimension, the age of Aquarius, the 1,000 years of peace, you know? And everybody's looking around saying, when is it coming? When is it coming? And when I say everybody, I'm really talking about myself as well. Because I had to have a realization last night that I am sitting back. Well, I'm not going to say I do this all the time, but when I lower my frequency, I tend to find myself, you know, looking for when is this event going to come, or when is something going to come outside of me to make me feel better.
Waiting on something outside of you.
Yeah, but it's nothing that exists outside of oneself. That's the law of one. One is there is only one thing. There's just billions and trillions of perceptions and viewpoints of a reality.
That's right.
So what we're basically going to talk about today is how the fifth dimension it's here, and it's been here. It's just now time for us to tap into that.
That's right.
So we want to go ahead and get into some ways that you can see the difference between the fifth and the third dimension. Because listen, this dimension that's coming is going to be happening retroactive. That means it's going to be the same time people are going to be in the third dimension. They're going to be in the fifth, and it's going to be all in one.
Same time. That's right.
So, Starla, if you could best explain a scenario that one person's consciousness is in the third dimension and the other person's consciousness is in the fifth dimension, how would that like look in real life? Could you just like try to break it down the best way that you could?
I think I would explain that. First, I'm gonna start off by bringing up the same thing you brought up about people. We got a lot of questions. Remember on our social media, they're asking, "Can you explain to us what it feels like to be in the fifth dimension?"
Yeah.
I think that I'm almost to the fifth dimension. What am I supposed to be experiencing? But guess what? If you're in the fifth dimension, you know it.
Yeah,
you don't have to ask that question.
Yeah, you know.
And what the fifth dimension is, it's just how you're perceiving your reality, basically. Somebody can be in 3D and 5D in the same day, same thing going on, but I see it differently because I live in the 5D.
So similar to this then, like, so we both go to, let's say, this outing, and it's 400 people in this outing. You're saying that if I'm in the third dimension and you're in the fifth dimension, we wear the same color clothes, we wear the same everything, drive and meet there at the same time, that we both can have two different experiences.
That's right. I'm gonna have the 5D experience. I'm gonna see all the positivity in whatever happened, all the love. I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna be happy. That's just my perception because I'm in the 5D. But a person in the 3D, they might go there and they say, "Oh, it was awful," and just everything negative. It'll track to them, and that will be their reality.
Had a rude. It's just kind of like this, right? This is my experience on it, and I'm saying this because I'm actually raising my frequency to go back to the fifth, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, man, this is Applied Consciousness podcast. We keep it real. I can't get behind this mic and act as if, hey, I'm always on the fifth. That's not true, man. I sometimes allow myself to go to the lower realms.
We strive to stay there.
Yeah, we strive to stay there. It's to live in the fifth dimension.
That's right.
And what I noticed was this. It's like, I'm going to give that example, the same one that you were saying. Like, we both go to a building with 400 people. We arrive at the same time. We got the same clothes on. Everything is the same. But if my frequency is of a lower vibration, what I'm going to do is attract my tribe. So that means out of the 400 people, 200 of those people might be negative Nancy's, right? That means they're just disgruntled. They're saying negative stuff. I'm going to attract myself to only those 200 people. So my experience at this get-together or gathering was, man, those were just a bunch of messy, nasty, pathetic-minded people. But really, I was getting my mirror reflection back. I was getting to enjoy the company of things that were like what I am, right? So on the other hand of Starla, if you go in and you're in the fifth dimension, right? And you walk in there, and your frequency's on fleek, right? Like, you were there like, man, it feels great to be alive, you know? Woo! she goes in, and my wife is going to experience all of the people that are on their positive flow. The people that come and say, oh my God, I love your dress. Oh, I just feel your vibes. I'm loving it. And she's going to be in that same party. And she's going to get to see the whole different side of what I'm not going to be able to experience. It's because her consciousness, which is who you truly are, is elevated to a higher vibration.
That's right. That's right.
And my consciousness in that state of mind would have been on a lower vibration. And we are going to experience what we are.
That's right.
So when people are talking to you about the fifth dimension, what my viewpoint or my perception of it is basically it's the time period where a certain percentage of humanity has decided to raise their vibration, and in doing so create an alternate world inside of this world for one to place their consciousness into. So and I know
well explained it perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. So I want to give you guys an example of a time that I was raising my frequency. And it was like the universe was attracting me to people that, you know, that probably in the position that I was in, I probably shouldn't even be able to speak to those people. And it reminds me of a couple, which I'm not gonna. Well, I am. Is a guy named Mr. Dave, and his wife named Miss Margie, right? And I remember getting off those buses, or getting ready to go through the job thing that we were working at, right? And I was just a regular laborer. These were like the big bosses of the companies. But it's like out of all the people, my frequency was on so high that I could like zoom in, and it was like I only noticed. I'm like, damn, it's Mr. Dave. Who is this guy? I could sense his vibration was high. You know? And I end up attracting to myself everything that was on my frequency. And it was like the negative people, they were like, Trey, why are you always happy? And I'm like, dude, this is just my reality. But I could only notice other people that were like on this positive vibe. Like, I just want to tell you guys about this man that I'm speaking about. Mr. Dave had like probably a couple of hundred people working beneath him, right? In an environment that was hostile. I mean, beyond understanding. And I used to sit back and say, how does this guy always keep like a smirk on his face, right? like I strive to want to be like that, but everyone else, they probably didn't even notice it. But because my frequency was attracting, my frequency was thriving for that environment, that's all that I could see. So when they'll tell me like, hey Trey, did you notice this guy over here, I think he's racist, or this guy over here was this, and this guy, I was like, dude, I
didn't notice.
I didn't even notice it, right?
No.
And I know, Starla, you probably have similar experiences like that, right? You go into places as a nurse, and everyone probably tells you about these negative people, and it's like,
no,
what people are you talking about? Like, dude, I haven't seen those people.
Yeah, so basically the fifth dimension, it's up to you whether you want to raise your frequency and experience the fifth dimension. But how I judge it when I'm there in the fifth dimension, because I drop my frequency sometime too, and I go down, I'm not in the fifth dimension. If I don't feel happy, or if normal stuff that's happening irritates me now, like my daughter might be getting on my nerves, like, she's just a child, in the fifth dimension. I realize she's just a child, and I just see the joy in her, and I want to learn from her. But when I lower my frequency, now I see like, oh, she's bad, she's irritating me, but she's doing the same thing she always did.
That's crazy.
So that's how I judge whether I'm in the 5D based on, it's different stuff that I always encounter. Is it aggravating me? Is it irritating me? Am I seeing the negative in it? So that's how you know when you're in the 5D. It's just
your experience. So, and I think, remember, me and you were talking about that. We were like, hey, how do we know for sure? And it's the euphoric feeling.
That's right. That's right.
Those days that I'm not talking about those false euphorias. Somebody gave you some money, or you inherited some money, and that's a false happiness.
Short term.
That's short term. I'm talking about being able to wake up. And this was the first time me and my wife knew we were in the fifth dimension. When I'm telling you, I think I was just working. My wife, she wasn't feeling well, and she wasn't working. And if you ask the world, we were in a bad situation.
That's right.
I mean, we were going through our dark night of the soul, which I'm not going to get into that. We were going through some stuff that people will probably say, man, dude, are these people crazy or whatnot?
Yeah.
But during that time, we actually had no money, just enough to pay the bills, just enough to buy groceries. And if you ask anyone, they would say, man, those are the happiest people in the world. And the truth was, we really were the happiest people in the world at that time.
Every day focused on raising our frequency.
Every
what can
day.
we change?
Yes.
How can we level up? Just every day, just focused on that and really living.
And really living that.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm getting ready to.
The 5D.
Correct. And personally, I think I'm about to go ahead and start doing, because if it's not broken, don't fix it.
That's true.
We used to listen to this guy named Ralph Smart.
Thank you, Ralph.
Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters. Y'all check him out on YouTube. He's a great mentor.
Yep.
And he has this slogan, and the slogan is, "It feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there?" And I remember saying that slogan every morning before I went to work.
5 o'clock every morning. He yelled this out, y'all.
And I would go out there, and I was a hydro excavator, and I would hydrovac my behind off, you guys. I never was slacking when it came down to my job on that island. I didn't slack. And I noticed that, I didn't really notice that. I noticed I felt good, but I didn't really know I was acting different until everyone kept asking me, like, hey, man, why is this guy always, like, excited?
Yeah.
So I'm saying that to say this to you. A simple thing of changing your mind frame by just quoting something as simple as that. Those words are not because Ralph said them. That's not why they're important. It's because of the words that were spoken.
Powerful words.
The powerful words become
them.
your reality. It feels so good to be alive. Or to say that the power has been with me all along. Those are things that you can do to raise your frequency, to be in tune to this fifth dimension, and be able to experience the bliss, to be able to experience the joy.
That's right.
So we just wanted to go ahead and do this quick topic, you guys, about the fifth dimension, baby.
Whoop, whoop.
And we want you guys to experience it as well. That's if you choose to.
That's right.
So, like, again, some of the things that we do is, well, you can sing. What's some other ones that you say we could do to raise?
Oh, we listen to frequencies, being around like-minded souls, not being around, people who don't vibrate on your frequency. That's a lot of times that drains you. They're not uplifting you, but constantly being around, like-minded souls, people that uplift you, helping you raise your frequency.
And if you don't know any people in this present moment, you can go out into nature and just breathe, man.
My favorite.
Be connected with the trees and the flowers.
That's right.
Enjoy the beauty that you're experiencing, and that's going to help you raise your frequency, because the fifth dimension is here. We just have to take our consciousness there and tap into it.
That's right.
But we're not going to hold you guys any longer. And ladies, we want to say, live,
love,
and laugh, and namaste, namaste, namaste. Peace.
Peace, everybody.
Hey, stay enlightened. And we will see you on this frequency in the fifth dimension. Hey, follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Applied Consciousness. We have a lot of content there as well. And stick with us, you guys and ladies.
And follow us on the Spiritual Network.
Oh, yes. And also, we just became members of I believe it's called the Spiritual Podcast Network. So go reach out to them. It's on Facebook. Well, no, they actually have their own website that they connected us to.
That's right.
And when you go there, what it is, it's multiple podcasters that are putting out information about conscious things and spiritual things.
Positive vibes only.
Positive vibes only. So again, check out the Spiritual Network podcast. It's a lot of hard hitters, people that are walking the spiritual journey.
That's
hey,
right.
You guys, peace, live, love, laugh, and we'll talk to you later.
All right.
One.